Welcome back to English Sports Focus. I am the Pitch Voice, your guide through the annals of athletic mythology. Today, our focus shifts not just to a player, but to a cultural phenomenon, a singularity that forever altered the trajectory of professional sports, marketing, and global pop culture. We are examining a man who didn't just play basketball, he bent the game to his will, seemingly defying the laws of physics, while operating with a competitive drive that bordered on the pathological. From the rustic courts of North Carolina to the global stage as the most recognizable face on the planet, this is the definitive chronicle of his Airness, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the man who defied gravity. Chapter 1. The Wilmington Crucible and the Myth of Rejection. The narrative of Michael Jordan often begins with a widely circulated, though slightly apocryphal story of failure, being cut from his high school varsity team as a sophomore in Wilmington, North Carolina. While technically he was placed on the junior varsity roster to develop, the perceived slight acted as a galvanizing force of nuclear proportions. This early period defined his psyche. He was not an immediate prodigy in the way others were. His greatness was forged in a crucible of intense, almost maniacal self-improvement. It was during these formative years on the asphalt courts of the American South that he developed the work ethic that would later become legendary. He transformed a lanky frame and raw athleticism into a weapon of precision, fueled by an inexhaustible desire to prove every detractor wrong, a theme that would recur throughout his entire career. Chapter 2. Chapel Hill and the Genesis of Clutch. Jordan's collegiate career at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill was the essential finishing school for his raw talent. Under the tutelage of the legendary coach Dean Smith, known for his rigid egalitarian system that prioritized team coherence over individual brilliance, Jordan learned discipline. Yet, even within this structured environment, his transcendent ability could not be contained. The inflection point occurred during the 1982 NCAA championship game against Georgetown. As a freshman, with seconds remaining on the clock, Jordan took the game-winning jump shot. That moment was the genesis of his reputation as a clutch performer, an athlete who not only delivered under immense pressure, but actively sought out those high-stakes moments. It was the first public glimpse of an icy composure that would later terrorize the NBA. Chapter 3. Arrival in Chicago. Resurrecting a moribund franchise. When the Chicago Bulls drafted Jordan third overall in 1984, they were a moribund franchise, struggling for relevance in a city obsessed with football and baseball. Jordan's arrival was a seismic event. Almost immediately, he displayed a visceral, explosive style of play that mesmerized audiences. He was an aerial artist in an era defined by bruising physical play. His rookie season was a revelation, culminating in a playoff performance against the Boston Celtics, where he scored a record 63 points, prompting Larry Bird to famously describe him as God disguised as Michael Jordan. Despite individual brilliance, however, collective success remained elusive. Jordan was a solitary supernova, burning bright, but lacking the supporting orbital infrastructure to win championships. Chapter 4. The Detroit Obstacle and the Jordan Rules. Before ascending to the throne, Jordan had to overcome a brutal gatekeeper, the Detroit Pistons, known colloquially as the Bad Boys. The Pistons implemented a draconian defensive strategy known as the Jordan Rules, designed to physically batter him every time he entered the paint. It was psychological and physical warfare. For 3 consecutive years, the Pistons ended Jordan's season, leading critics to question whether a scoring champion could ever lead a team to a title. This period of attrition was crucial. It forced Jordan to evolve. He committed himself to a punishing weight training regimen to absorb the contact, and mentally, he learned to trust his teammates, realizing that his individual brilliance alone was insufficient against a coordinated defensive monolith. Chapter 5. The First Ascension, Dismantling the Lakers. The 1990-91 season represented a paradigm shift. With a fortified body and a more mature approach, guided by coach Phil Jackson's triangle offense, a system designed to share the ball and maximize spacing, Jordan finally surmounted the Detroit obstacle. The NBA Finals saw a symbolic passing of the torch, as Jordan's Bulls faced Magic Johnson's Los Angeles Lakers, the dominant team of the 1980s. The Bulls' victory was comprehensive. The image of Jordan crying whilst clutching his first Larry O'Brien trophy remains iconic. It was a catharsis, a release of years of accumulated pressure and expectation. This marked the beginning of a dynasty, followed by 2 more consecutive titles, solidifying his status as the undisputed ruler of the basketball world. Chapter 6. The Dream Team and Global Iconography. In the summer of 1992, between his second and third NBA titles, Jordan participated in the Barcelona Olympics as the centerpiece of the Dream Team. This was the first time NBA players were permitted in the Olympics, and the squad assembled was arguably the greatest collection of talent in the history of team sports. More than just a competition, it was a global exhibition. Jordan's ubiquity during this tournament transported basketball from an American pastime to a truly global obsession. He was no longer just an athlete, he was a cultural ambassador, his silhouette recognized in corners of the world that had never seen a basketball game. This period marked the zenith of his fame, where his commercial appeal, driven by the revolutionary Air Jordan brand, began to rival his on-court achievements. Chapter 7. Tragedy, Diamond Dust, and the First Retirement. At the absolute apex of his powers in 1993, having just completed his first three-peat, Jordan shocked the world by announcing his retirement at age 30. The decision was precipitated by a profound melancholy stemming from the tragic murder of his father, James Jordan, and a general loss of competitive fire. In a quixotic turn, he pursued a career in professional baseball, fulfilling a childhood dream he shared with his late father. While his time with the Birmingham Barons, a minor league affiliate of the Chicago White Sox, was statistically underwhelming, it served as a necessary mental sabbatical. The humbling experience of struggling in a new sport reignited the dormant flame of his basketball ambition. Chapter 8. The Resurrection and the 72-10 Season. In March 1995, with a laconic two-word press release, "I'm back," Jordan returned to the NBA. After shaking off the rust, the following season, 1995-96, was a masterclass in vengeance. Alongside Scottie Pippen and the newly acquired mercurial Dennis Rodman, Jordan led the Bulls to an unprecedented 72-10 regular season record, a mark of dominance that many thought unassailable. This version of Jordan was different. Less reliant on explosive athleticism, his game was surgical, built on a lethal fadeaway jump shot and impeccable footwork. He reclaimed his throne with an inexorable force, initiating a second three-peat that cemented his argument as the greatest of all time. Chapter 9. The Last Dance and the Perfect Exit. The 1997-98 season, posthumously dubbed The Last Dance, was rife with internal tension between the players, coaching staff, and management. Yet amidst this cacophony, Jordan delivered his final opus in a Bulls uniform. The 1998 finals against the Utah Jazz provided the perfect denouement. In Game 6, with his team trailing in the final minute, Jordan executed a sequence of plays that encapsulated his entire career. A crucial layup, a steal from Karl Malone on the defensive end, and finally, the game-winning jump shot over Brian Russell. Holding the pose as the ball swished through the net, it was a tableau of athletic perfection. The ultimate competitor delivering the ultimate victory in his final moments on the grandest stage. Chapter 10. The Corporate Titan and Immutable Legacy. Following a second retirement and a brief, epilogue-like return with the Washington Wizards in the early 2000s, Jordan transitioned fully into the business world. His ownership of the Charlotte Hornets made him the first former player to become the majority owner of an NBA franchise. However, his most significant off-court legacy remains the Jordan brand, a multi-billion-dollar subsidiary of Nike that continues to dominate the athletic footwear ecosystem decades after his final game. Michael Jordan's legacy is immutable. He didn't just raise the bar for athletic performance. He created an entirely new archetype for the modern superstar athlete. A blend of ruthless competitiveness, global marketing appeal, and cultural transcendence that has yet to be replicated. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of a true titan. The vocabulary in today's episode was intentionally challenging to match the complexity of Jordan's career. If you manage to keep up, your English listening skills are truly advancing to an elite level. Before you go, I have a question for the comments section. Michael Jordan's drive was often described as pathological. Do you believe that such an extreme level of obsession is necessary to achieve true greatness in any field, or is it possible to reach the top with a more balanced approach? I look forward to reading your perspectives. That's all for today. We hope this truly deep dive helped you substantially sharpen your listening skills. Remember these key phrases and try to use them in conversation this week. Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating these detailed lessons. See you next time for more English Sports Focus. Until the next chapter of English Sports Focus, this is the Pitch Voice, signing off.